YouTube, how's it going? The Goat House is back with part two of the 7 round mock draft madness. All kinds of team by team 7 round mocks submitted by you guys out there. If you follow us on Twitter, you noticed that and possibly entered your 7 round mock for your favorite team, or if you saw it through the live stream. So I'd recommend following that Twitter. I apologize if I missed anybody's mock draft. I got an insane amount of them, way more than I expected. It was pretty chaotic going through all these. So apologize again if I somehow missed yours. 50K, that's our subscriber goal. Both channels. We got 2 channels, Goat House and Goat House Plus. We're actually live day one during the NFL draft, April 23rd, right here on YouTube. Predictions, reactions. It's going to be a lot of fun, so if you can join us. Yeah, follow that Twitter. You won't miss a thing. They're constant NFL action there. So the first team let's talk about is the Cowboys. We left off with the first 16 teams in the first video. So if you haven't seen part one, go check it out. Part two starts with the Cowboys, which surprisingly, huge fan base, but somebody did not submit. Nobody submitted a Cowboys 7 round mock, so I had to make one myself here. It can go so many different directions. If Chason was there, I'd take him, and I think he will be there. They could go the corner route. But Igbenogany from Auburn would be a pretty good pick in the second round, so they have that opportunity. And they do need a safety to pair with perhaps Clinton Dix, Kyle Duggar. The small school kid from Lenore, Ryan, is my number 5 safety. So far looking pretty good. You got some 3 plug-and-play starters there. Go back to Chason. The thing is, they got some sneaky depth in the pass rush. We know DeMarcus Lawrence going to start, but I'm looking for a guy like maybe Dorrance Armstrong to really step up this year. I was pretty high on him out of Kansas, but knew he was pretty raw. So maybe this is about the time where he breaks out. They did get Jackson last year. Obviously, they brought in Alden Smith. They could get better. Chason makes them better. But if they passed, I would like for them to get Trevon Diggs. I'm a big Trevon Diggs fan, but this is a good route as well. Biotish sounds like he will drop to around the 4th round, maybe a 2nd or 3rd round talent, but some injury concern, so maybe that'll be enough for the Cowboys to pass because they've dealt with injuries in the offensive line, but there's a shortage on those solid centers, and they need one, so Biotish, I think, would fit their blocking scheme there as well. Lynn Bowden, I think, is that gadget receiver that the Cowboys definitely could use, with pairing with Amari Cooper and Gallup. So I think that's exactly what they'll be looking for, not having Cobb or Tavon Austin. Bowden almost feels like he could even be a running back, but I would like him at receiver for the Cowboys. Asiasi, the tight end from UCLA, very athletic tight end, actually surprisingly can block pretty well as well. I think they add him. That's he could sneak, very surprisingly be their better tight end if they add a guy like that. And Michael Walker, who I like for outside linebacker for them, seems like they're kind of doing their homework on outside linebackers that can get after the quarterback, and I think that Walker is exactly that there. So in a late steal, I believe. So Fresno State linebacker, round 7. I had a lot of Eagles fans submit their mock drafts. Let's take a look at some Eagles ones. Patrick Queen, 1st round. There's this split. I think most of the Eagles fans want a receiver round 1, and then there's a chunk of them that want a linebacker because it's a pretty big hole in there, and there's a pretty big gap after the top linebackers such as Queen in the 1st round. So he kind of went that route, and the second one we see on the right actually went that route as well. We got a couple more after this, but Patrick Queen, then T. Higgins. So kind of pays off. You wait for a receiver, you still got a 1st round talent. Kayvon Wallace I like a lot. I would like him in the slot. I also think he actually can play linebacker, maybe a little underweight to play linebacker, but was kind of in Clemson, was kind of like that other Isaiah Simmons. Played corner, slot corner most of the snaps, played a little bit of safety, played quite a bit of, pretty much outside linebacker, and he was impressive there. So can do multiple things with him. Would really like him for the Eagles. Willicks from Michigan State's a sneaky guy, pretty strong defensive end. Could be a sneaky good pick down here, 127. Duvernay. So adding Higgins and Duvernay, passing on a receiver in the 1st round, looks pretty good right now. Higgins and Duvernay. A.J. Dillon, I think, is a really good duo with with Miles Sanders there. I think they complement each other pretty well. Then Driscoll, you're going to need that tackle depth. They got a really good group, but some injuries, unfortunately. Then Dane Jackson for the cornerback depth. It's a pretty good pick down there. That's a really good mock draft. That's a really good mock draft right there. They very well could go receiver in the 1st round, but this is still realistic, and there's a lot of fits. Everything's realistic. In part 1, there was a lot of good mocks, a lot of fits, but there was people that were kind of Just really praying too much that some guy was going to be there. Probably not, but this one makes a lot of sense. The one on the right goes the linebacker route as well. Kenneth Murray, Queen versus Murray. It's a tough battle. I have Murray higher on my board, but I wouldn't really blame the Eagles for going Queen. Queen, the reason to argue Queen over Murray is he can cover a little better, and I think that's what the Eagles could get a little more out of Queen in that route. So that would make sense, but I do have Murray higher on my board. Jalen Johnson in the second. I don't think he'll be there, but I always mention this. There's 9 top corners, 9 of them. That's what makes this class unique. We are pretty damn sure Okudah's going to be 1, Henderson's going to be 2. Even if they're flipped, those are the first 2 off the board. So the next 7 could go in any order, and that's why this corner class is going to be fun to see how they come off the board. So my point is, one of those corners is going to drop. One of them, at least one of them, has to drop. Whether you like it or not, one will. It could be Jalen Johnson. I'm going to say it's not going to be him, but it makes it realistic because one's got to drop. Tyler Johnson. So they wait to the third to add the receiver. I think they'll add one a little earlier, but yeah, with Murray and Johnson, it's kind of tough to pass up on those guys. So then they kind of go back-to-back receivers. So that's not a bad route. It's really not. You don't get a clear number 1 receiver, but you add Johnson and Prochet. The thing I would, even though I like that, and I think, I would like that, and it would make sense in this scenario, I'd say most teams probably have them both pegged as slot receivers. I know Johnson doesn't really look too much like a slot receiver, but he really is, that he can play outside. Prochet can play both. I think teams will mainly put him in the slot. So that'd be the reason they wouldn't go both. But I wouldn't have a problem with Jonah Jackson, 145. He's probably going to go earlier than that. Antoine Brooks, the safety / linebacker from Maryland, go 146. Anthony Jennings, and then Shaq Quarterman. Shaq Quarterman's a weird one. I talked about him before. Like, it almost feels like he'd be better as a pass rusher, but he doesn't have the measurables to be a pass rusher. But yeah, it's a pretty good one. Interesting route they take. Yeah, I like the fits. I just don't think they go that route. More Eagles mocks. We see 2 now going. We saw 2 going the linebacker route. Now we see 2 going the receiver route, specifically Justin Jefferson, which I would like very much. Justin Jefferson's a great wide receiver. And then you got Ezra Cleveland versus Jordan Brooks. I don't think Cleveland will be there, but it would be an Eagles move to kind of take an offensive tackle before people are expecting it, just to kind of be on the safer side. They don't want to. They've had their injuries, and they're always pretty good about having the next offensive lineman in place in case anything happens. But I think Cleveland will be gone. Jordan Brooks might actually be gone. He's getting some first-round buzz, but still realistic it can be here. I think it's possible. And then you got Logan Wilson. I think it's a little early. There are some people that really like Logan Wilson. I'm not one of those people that really like him. He's solid. It's a little early. Darrington Evans. I don't think that's the guy that I pair with Sanders, honestly. I think they're too similar. I think more of inside the tackles back they're looking for. Evans, very quick. I mean, the quickness is ridiculous. But not too many broken tackles. And the strength is kind of lacking a little bit, but a good back. I just don't think that's the guy that I'd pair with Sanders. Kenny Robinson, the XFL safety, former West Virginia safety for 145. Devin Duvernay, 146, would be a great pick. Quarterman and Javaris Davis. Pretty much. I like it, but I don't think Cleveland's going to be there, and I don't think they'd take Evans. I don't think that's a good one for Miles Sanders. So the next one, we had Jefferson Brooks. We talked about those a little bit. Bradley and Nye. Mooney, I do like Mooney a lot. Stone. A.J. Dillon, I think, is a good duo for Sanders. Lamar. This is a good mock. It's pretty realistic. Brooks may be gone. Anai may be gone. The rest, I think good fits, very realistic. Now we're on to, we got quite a few Vikings as well, and they left me their Twitter handles, so you can see their Twitter handles there for who made it. Jalen Johnson in the first, very realistic physical corner, definitely definitely the best tackling corner in the class, so that could be appealing. Kinlaw at 25, however, I don't think will be there. Javon Diggs at 26 in the second round, I don't think will be there. It's funny because I have Diggs actually ahead of Johnson. I do like Johnson, but on my board, and this is, it's possible that Johnson goes before him. But, Kinlaw and Diggs, I think, unlikely. But if somehow the Vikings just got that 3 right there, this looking like one of the best draft classes of all time. But I just don't think it's going to happen. Van Jefferson, another one that would be an A-plus pick. But I think it's possible because he had a recent injury. Would be a left tackle candidate to start right away, really. Then Tyler Johnson, which would be a good pick for them. From Minnesota, Jonathan Garvin from Miami, and then Jonah Jackson's not going to be there in the 6th. Nick Coe's a weird one, D end, but He's too big, too heavy. I just don't know what they do with him. Kayvon Wallace will not. Yeah, that's you're just praying too much with this one. Kayvon Wallace would be he could be a second, probably a third round pick. I would love him on the Vikings. I just don't think he's gonna be there in the seventh. Then Tuhill and then McKeon. Yeah, just kind of just hopeful with this one. Hoping guys drop, and that would be a ridiculous, ridiculous draft for them. The other one goes Justin Jefferson. It sounds like he may be gone now. And then Wills will not be there at 25. Arnett would be a great pick there. Okwara, probably not there, but he has the injuries. Then Gilman, I don't, maybe that's a little too early actually for Gilman. And then McTelvin Agim would be a really good pick for them. He's probably gone a little earlier. Onwenu, Dante Olson, Jake Luton. Yeah, the rest of it makes sense. But yeah, both these mocks, I think they're Vikings fans, kind of like myself, that are hoping some really good players drop. But I just don't see it happen. But there's always those surprises, a lot of surprises, especially this year with what's going on. The quarantine, some crazy guys might drop. So we'll see. More Vikings mocks. Skull Vegas sent this one in. Mekhi Becton, which he could drop a little bit. I just don't see it. Chason won't be there at 25. Jalen Johnson probably won't be there at 45, and Jefferson 89. Robert Hunt's not going to be there at 105. The Vikings fans, we're really reaching here, guys. We're really reaching. These guys aren't going to be here. Meek Robertson would make sense. Yeah, McTelvin Agim's not going to be at 155. Patman's a sneaky guy I would like. Muse, I think, is more of a linebacker. I think more of an undrafted guy. And Cole McDonald, I like at that pick. He's got the big playability. He's got a weird throwing motion. But a lot of probably not going to happen. Probably not going to drop. So far 3 for 3 out of the Vikings mock drafts. Andrew Thomas, trade up to 10 actually. Then Chason at 22. Unlikely, but he can be there at 22. Robert Hunt 58. I think they'll like him. They may have to trade up a little bit. Vikings fans really like Van Jefferson, I've noticed. Reggie Robinson would be a Zimmer pick there at 132. Yes, Stanley would be one of their picks too. I think he's Vikings type. I think if they're interested in a quarterback at all, it would probably be Fromm or Stanley. Not saying they'll get those guys. They probably really won't get Fromm because they'll probably go earlier when they would take them. But those guys fit their system, in my opinion. Guidry, close to an undrafted guy probably. I don't know if they would. Maybe they would for slot corner. Prochet probably gone at this point, but could be there. Both guys went Desmond Patman. 3 receivers. I don't know if the Vikings go 3 receivers, but that would be great. Khalil Davis and C.J. O'Grady, another tight end. That one's probably the most normal out of the group, but a lot of Vikings fans just really praying somebody's going to drop to. A lot of guys are going to drop to him. Patriots. Somebody sent me this one. We got Kenneth Murray. I do like the fit. Just feels like he can be that new Kyle Van Noy / Jamie Collins, that off-the-ball linebacker, but also can be a pass rusher, and he's shown that. Jake Fromm, that pick makes sense. If the Patriots can get their hands on him. Sadiq Charles at 98. Bryson, all these make sense. KJ Hill at 125. Quarterman 172. And Quarterman could be that too, kind of like another. So Murray could be their Van Noy. Quarterman could be. I never really thought about that. Quarterman can be their Jamie Collins. So I like this. I like this mock a lot. Bravian Roy, Tanner Muse, which I'm more comfortable Muse undrafted probably. He did not impress me, and we probably got a position change, so he has upside. And Lamar Jackson, Tyreek Cleveland, Trey Adams, and Michael. This is a good mock. I like the fits. They may have to take Fromm earlier. Just the feeling I'm getting, even though somebody shouldn't really take him earlier than that. All this makes sense. It makes sense. Good fits. Very realistic. It's a good mock. And then we got the Saints, couple from the Saints. We got Kenneth Murray, which, same thing. I talk about the Saints were kind of after Jamie Collins, and they're looking to add pass rush from their linebacker unit. They get pass rush from their D-line, pretty good pass rush. They just get some injuries sometimes, so add some guys that can bring that pressure, that next level pressure from the next level of the defense. Linebacker unit, a guy like Kenneth Murray makes a ton of sense. Meek Robertson, it depends. I think they like Chauncey Gardner-Johnson in the slot, so they'd probably they could, unless they want, they want some, no, I think they probably want him in the slot. I was gonna say unless they wanna, because he's played safety, but I think they're pretty set for this year at safety, so probably wouldn't go slot corner. Duvernay would be great inside Emmanuel Sanders and Michael Thomas. Duvernay playing the slot. Jordan Elliott probably gone by 169, but he's a really good player. And then Kyle Murphy, the interior offense. He played guard for them, probably depth. So, not a lot of picks for the Saints. I do the Murray and Duvernay ones really make sense. More Saints. A couple left their Twitter handles for me. Patrick Queen. So instead of both of them go Patrick Queen. So instead of Murray Queen. So the Saints fans are on the same page. Let's grab this linebacker here. And they both go quarterback next, but it's Eason versus Hurts. I prefer Eason. Hurts. People are kind of on that train, Hurts to the Saints. It just doesn't make sense to me. Taysom Hill to me isn't a franchise quarterback. He's a great football player. He's very important for the Saints. I love his game. He's just not a quarterback to me. He's just not. But I'd rather play him at quarterback than Hurts at this point. I think the Saints, we groomed Hill. We're just bringing Hurts in. Similar style quarterbacks. Different builds, obviously. I just don't see they would do. If they're going to go for a quarterback, it'd be more the pocket passer. I would like Eason for them much, much more. I think he's better and more of the Drew Brees, following his footsteps, hopefully. And then you both went receiver, so this is interesting. So you're both going the same positions here. Lynn Bowden versus Tyler Johnson. Both can play in the slot, but two totally different type of receivers. Either one will work out. I think Johnson's better. So either one will work out there, though. And then Brandon Jones, I actually have Green listed as a safety, even though he played corner. I just think his build, the lack of speed, I put him at safety. So technically, in my book, you guys just both took the same position again. Brandon Jones versus AJ Green. The safer one would be Jones, but I'd actually go Green. I like the upside of him at safety. And then you both go corner there. Javaris Davis, who would probably play more of the slot. I don't think they're in the market for that, so Samuels would probably make more sense. And then Sternad would be a good pick, too. Could be another linebacker that can bring some quarterback pressure as well. So two good mocks, pretty similar. I like to see that. Now we got some Seahawks mocks. One on the left, Terrell Lewis. I'm a big fan of Lewis. So the Clowney replacement there, a guy that can play on the line or stand-up pass rusher. So I do like Lewis a lot. The first-round talent, but will he go first because of the past injuries? Robert Hunt I like a lot as well. May have to trade up a little bit for him. Would love Claypool. Been talking about that. Claypool, same build as DK Metcalf, but plays a lot inside, a lot in the slot, and he can play outside when Lockett's in. I just love the idea of that. So, and Hunter Bryant would make a lot of sense, but if he's there, to the nose tackle, Lamar Jackson, and then you grab the TCU running back there. So, like that draft. I like that draft. It's probably one of those. It's not a stretch, not a reach to say, those guys will drop there, but it's probably a best case scenario type of mock. Trade back, I like that. Seahawks probably will look into that, as we know, and they haven't had too much success in the first. So trade back, Jalen Reagor, would love it. Problem is, I'm really thinking Reagor goes in the first round. Curtis Weaver would make sense. Biotish, Pert, Jackson, Jonah Jackson's probably gone by then. Antonio Gibson's probably gone by then. A lot of people mocking McTelvin Agim. He's going to go a lot earlier than everyone thinks. Jordan Fuller, Cole McDonald. Yeah, probably some that probably won't be there. They'll probably be gone. I think we got more. No, we got Ravens. I lied. We got Ravens. So somebody sent me this Ravens one. Kenneth Murray, which I think would be a good fit. We'll see if he's there. I think he could be. Michael Pittman at 55. I like Michael Pittman. There's been a lot of hype about him, though. Maybe a little too much. I'd say slow your roll a little bit to people that are just really going nuts. I do like Pittman, though, so don't get me wrong. Hunt's probably going to be gone. That'd be great, though. Robertson for the slot. Young's going to come back, though. We'll see if he's healthy. Khalid Kareem I like a lot. Probably doesn't fit, though. Kareem I view as strictly as a 4-3 end. Ravens run the 3-4, but I always see teams still go get those guys and kind of convert them a little. It's not too much of a conversion. Albert O at 129, so you lose Hurst, get a tight end back. That would be great. That would be great. You don't really need to do that, but it would be great because you get a higher pick than that for Hurst, and I think Albert O can give them a little, more, really. So that would be big time. Reggie Robinson as a sleeper corner from Tulsa. Julian Blackman, be a depth for safety, and then Chris Orr. Yeah, so that's a pretty good one here. I just don't know about the Cream fit, and I don't think Hunt will be there. Moving on to some Titans. The one on the left's in reverse order for some reason. Sometimes it just happens. It's okay. AJ Epinesa, Jalen Johnson. I think more likely if you swap those, but either one, I don't think they'll get that guy at 61, no matter which one it is. I don't think they'll be there. Jalen Johnson's likely to be a first. AJ Epinesa's likely to be early second, but I do like the fits. I think the Titans will like Johnson, and I think the Titans will like Epinesa for 3-4 end. Ezra Cleveland is not going to be there. Sounds like he's going to go first. If he doesn't, it's going to be early second. Prochet would be good. Yeah, they're kind of a sneaky team to be in the market for a receiver around these parts because Corey Davis could be a free agent coming up. So you want to kind of revamp that once if you expect him to be gone. DJ Dallas to pair with Henry, I like that. Montez and Blankenship. Both of you have Blankenship. Impressive. Kenneth Murray, 29. Very possible. But that's if it's kind of a wild card one. I kind of like it, though. It's kind of a wild card from Brady Polk here, I think, because he's an inside linebacker. The Titans are stacked in inside linebackers. But why I think it's possible is Kenneth Murray lined up as an edge rusher a bit for an inside linebacker at Oklahoma, and I thought he was impressive, and I think he can be a pass rusher. But these guys in the front, Robinson and then the coach Vrabel, got to be confident that he can do that. So it's a little bit of a wild card pick, but I like it, and I do think it's possible. Edwards-Helaire with Derrick Henry would be downright scary. Would love to see that. We'll see if it happens. Thaddeus Moss to kind of pair with Jonnu Smith there. That would be also another good pairing. Tanner Muse, yeah, probably early for him. I think he's more very late or undrafted. I don't think they have much use for him either. And Blankenship, which they could use a kicker. Bryce Perkins would be a good backup for Tannehill, good late pick, sleeper. And then Breeland. They probably wouldn't grab two tight ends. But then again, the Titans don't have a whole bunch of giant needs, so they can just kind of take best available if that's the route you're going there. And then we move on to, I got a lot of Packers. Out of all the teams, the fan bases that sent me mocks, I got the most from the Packers. Six people that are Packers fans send me the mocks there. So that's so the Packers win. I guess we have the most. I don't even know how to say it. The most fans out there are the Goat House or Packers fans. So you could make the argument, I guess. I don't know where I'm going with that. But we got 6 of them here from the Packers. Patrick Queen, so they go the linebacker route. I definitely think he can be there. Then Claypool at 62, already loving this draft, and it's realistic. Rashard Lawrence at 94, to play. Yeah, because Kenny Clark plays that nose. Lawrence will probably play that D tackle. So then they'll be just looking for the D end after that. Donovan Peoples-Jones with pretty similar to Claypool, but you're going to see Peoples-Jones outside a little more, so I do like that. Sadiq Charles probably goes a little earlier, but that's a guy that's like strange. That's a guy that's like really hard to predict. I've seen some talk about him in the second round and around here. So Jake Hansen might be an undrafted guy. Probably an undrafted guy there. Lamar Jackson for corner. They may go more of the slot corner route, I would think. Maybe Jackson could play that. Maybe they want to slide King inside, perhaps. I like the outside what they got though. Jacob Breeland from Oregon, and then Luton from Oregon State to learn behind Rodgers. I like that. Probably, you would like for them to go tight end earlier, but then again, you kind of look at what you have ahead, and maybe you could try to target the tight end at 192. But I really like the Queen, Claypool, Lawrence, Peoples-Jones, Charles. I like that, and the Luton, I like those a lot. And then another Packers mock. We still got quite a few to get through here. Jalen Reagor would love that pick. It's kind of something they have been missing, are missing in that offense. Kind of takes that next step. Then Jordan Elliott would be a good 3-4 end for them. And Thaddeus Moss, this is a great draft here. Thaddeus Moss, Jack Driscoll could almost beat out Rick Wagner for that right tackle spot. These are really good picks to make them that much better, and I think they're realistic as well. Francis Bernard. I think they can find a better fit here. I'm not really sure what to do with Bernard. I almost feel like he could be a 4-3 outside. This is a guy I'm not really sure. He makes those big-time plays, and he'll miss quite a bit of tackles. Hightower, I think, is probably gone. And pretty similar to Reagor. Reagor just has more to his game. Reagor can give the end around to. You can give the screen pass to. Hightower's just the speed down the sideline, which Reagor also has. So maybe they don't go two of the similar style receivers, and I do think Hightower will be gone. Neville Clark at 208. Pennicini at 209. I would like that fit as well. Montez, and then Hasty from Baylor there. Yeah, so overall I like this one. I think Hightower's gone. I'm not sure about the Bernard fit, But if they made those first 4 picks, which are realistic, but I think it would be like an A+ draft pretty much, and they would get instant impact guys. So that'd be big time for the Packers. More Packers. We got Jalen Johnson. Interesting. So they go corner in the first. Yeah, I wouldn't rule out, but I like their outside corners. I think they're just more a market for a slot guy. So we'll see. Willie Gay Jr. would be a good pick at 62. Brian Edwards from South Carolina at 94. Yeah, that would be big time. I know Packers fans want receivers earlier, but this route still be good. You still get Edwards here at 94. Hodgins, I think this is a little early. Hodgins could be very late because just the separation is really a concern. Like, he's got crazy hands and crazy contested catches, but it's kind of, and he earned those, but at the same time he kind of put himself in the position to have to make those catches because he didn't get any separation. A lot of people mocking Muse. I think it's a little early for Muse. Thaddeus Moss will be gone by this point. I think Mooney will be gone by that point. McFarland probably gone by that point. So not crazy, but a lot of guys that probably will be gone. And another Rager route here. Rager, Jackson's probably going to be gone. Troy Dye. I don't like the fit with Troy Dye. He won't be able to play inside linebacker for the Packers. He's going to be a 4-3 outside, and the worry is, does he have enough strength for that even? So he wouldn't play 3-4 inside linebacker. McTelvin Akeem would fit at 3-4 end for them. And I like Akeem. Cephas, yeah, so Rager and Cephas, that'd be a pretty good pairing with Devontae Adams there. Brooks, would probably play, because that's actually an interesting pick because the Packers don't really like playing with slot corner, which I think they need, but they kind of like using that extra safety they play in the box almost. It's a big nickel type situation. And that's what Brooks is. He's not a safety really. He'll be listed as safety, but he's a kind of that box guy. So that actually it's a good pick because I think it kind of fits what they've been doing. Let's see if they continue. Lamar Jackson, I suppose for depth on the outside. They do need depth on the outside. I think they're good at starters. I think King, Alexander's really good. Everybody knows he's really good. King, I think, is underrated. I think he's a pretty good outside. But I do think they need outside depth. Jake Hansen, probably an undrafted guy. Steven Montez, a lot of people like mocking Montez here. And Pinckney, yeah, so they wait for the tight end, but they still get a pretty solid one there at Pinckney. So I like it. there. Moving on. More Packers. Ridiculous. Jordan Brooks. Oh, yeah, so this one got messed up. I don't know if this is all they send me. This was all that I was able to gather, so it's not the full 7 rounds. But I kept it in here anyways because I did like the Jordan Brooks pick. Not because I'm not going to say it's going to happen, but he's getting some first-round buzz, and I'm thinking if he is going to go first, it's Ravens or Packers. So it's very interesting that you put him there. Hamler would be great for them in round 2. James Lynch would fit at 3-4 end. I like that fit a lot. He'll get some pass rush from the D-line, which they desperately need. Dane Jackson for the outside corner depth. And then Jared Pinckney once again. We didn't get to see the full one there, but I do like the fits. That one actually made a lot of sense. Kenneth Murray, Chenault, Gibson. Surprising you go Gibson because the Packers have a pretty good running back duo, but I think maybe you're thinking kind of use him as a hybrid player. I'm a big Gibson fan. I like Chenault too, and I like Murray too. I mean, all these are good picks. Gordon would be a pretty good guy for Rodgers. You can't compare him to Rodgers, but some similar, the way they play, I guess. So that would be fun. That would be fun for sure. Prochet. At 175 would like that. So you get Chenault, Gibson, and Prochet. Maybe a little unlikely, but that would be just absolutely fun. Everyone's mocking Tanner Muse. I don't know. Javaris Davis would be a slot corner on the other hand, so that would help them there. John Runyon, depth at the tackle position. Lipscomb, so more receiver depth there than Darrell Williams, the depth at the center and guard. So I like that mock. It's a pretty good mock. I don't think it's going to happen. It's not one I would predict, but it's a good mock. I'm feeling it. Then we're moving on. Some Chiefs. Couple of Twitter handles there that sent us these. We got AJ Terrell, Josh Uche for the edge. So I had another edge rusher, Akeem Davis Gaither. Rethinking that. Uche and Davis Gaither. I don't think they pick both. In the Chiefs scheme, they're basically the same exact player. Uche's going to be a little better. They're basically the same exact player. Which one would I think is more of a fit? Either one, really. I mean, they're in a 4-3. They're pretty much the same player, and you can't, even though you're going to have another outside linebacker on the opposite side. It's not really two of the same players you want, on the field at the same time, unless you just view as Uche as a defensive end for your scheme, which I don't. So they probably wouldn't take both, but it's interesting because they're very similar players. Hanson, a lot of people mocking Hanson. I just view him as undrafted. Raekwon Williams from Michigan State down there. And then the other one goes Rager. That's interesting, but you can't help yourself. Get the speed, just get the ball player in there. So I don't think it's going to happen, but you can see it. You can see it at the same time. Bryce Hall from Virginia. Bryce Hall's got some good moments. I just worry about downfield speed really with him. So I don't know if I really like him in the man scheme, the man-heavy scheme that the Chiefs run, actually. So I don't know about that one. I wouldn't rule it out. Khalid Kareem would be a good defensive end for them. Julian Blackmon could be, just a rotation safety option. And Keith Ishmael. So, yeah, comparing these, I don't think, for the first one, I don't think they go Uche and Gaither. They can go one. I do like Terrell. Terrell makes a lot of sense. Second one, I don't think they go Rager, but it's interesting. It makes it interesting. You put them there because the Chiefs' way. It's the Chiefs' way. So solid mocks there from the Chiefs fans. We got another Chiefs one, actually. We got A.J. Terrell. Look at that. Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Don't think he's there, but I wouldn't rule it out, and that would be great. Moody from Fresno State. Talent-wise, way better than 96, but he will be there probably because of injuries. Willicks from Michigan State for defensive end. Antoine Brooks. Could be like a very poor man's Tyrann Mathieu that they can convert to linebacker because he has more size to him. So that'd be interesting, if they can work on converting him to linebacker. So another very interesting one. And then moving on to the teams that don't have a first-round pick, two Colts mocks. Jordan Love at 34, would love that for Jordan Love to the Colts at 34. They may have to trade up a little bit, though. Austin Jackson, 44. Yeah, another one. He should be there at 44, in my opinion. He should be, but I don't think he's going to be. Claypool, and I'm noticing that both of you went Claypool. Another one that I can't figure out the Claypool range. I actually can see, it's not going to floor me if he goes late first. Don't think it's going to happen. But at the same time, if you get him at 75, it's not going to completely floor me either. So it's a pretty rangy one. DeGuara, I liked a lot. That would be great in there to kind of take Ebron's spot, even though he's not really similar to Ebron. It's kind of what that could pair with Doyle. Then Duvernay for the slot would make sense, and Kevin Dodson for guard depth could play early on in his career, perhaps. Then Blankenship. And then the other route went Michael Pittman and Claypool, so you double up on the receivers, which is possible if you don't go the quarterback route early. Funny, I do have Claypool graded better than Pittman. Everyone's on the Pittman train. 34 is a little early for me for Pittman. I'm not going to hate it or anything, as I like Pittman. But, if you swap those, for me, it'll make more sense. But from what we're hearing around the league, it's very possible. And this Crazy Scott was the person who kind of recommended this type of video, so shout out to him there. Then Bryce Hall at 75. They're kind of collecting the corners there, but a lot of one-year deals, so they could, bring in a guy like Bryce Hall there. Laurel Murchison from NC State could be like a three technique. That would make sense there for three technique. Anthony Gordon at 160. So that's a good route because you see one route where you take the quarterback earlier, which is very realistic, and one route where you'd really need the receivers for your current quarterback, Phillip Rivers. Let's wait, and you still get a pretty good one here. So two different routes that are realistic. And then Cameron Clark from Charlotte, who's really rising up boards. He probably goes earlier in this, and then Dalton Keene to pair Doyle there at 197. So some good Colts mocks there. And then some Texans ones. Terrell Lewis would absolutely love that pick. It's possible, too, because the past injuries, he can be there. But perfect fit. This guy's going to be really good. Terrell Lewis is going to be really, as long as he's healthy. If he's healthy, I'm guaranteeing he's going to be good. Damon Arnett, 90 would be great. May have to move up a little bit. But Telvin Agim, it's about right around where he should go. I think he'll play 3-4 end for the Texans. That would be great. Anthony Jennings pairing with Terrell Lewis. The Bama pass rushers back together again. Jennings would probably be a rotation. That'd be fun. Jordan Fuller, 240, and then Onwenu probably goes a little earlier than that, and then Bowen. Yeah, that's a pretty good mock. I like that. And it's also, I'd say, somewhat of a best-case scenario mock that's realistic. And then another one, their first pick ends up being Robertson, who's more of the slot corner. Then Van Jefferson at 90 would be a pretty good pick down there. Rashard Lawrence, Kinley. Isaiah Wright, Kamara from Kansas, Hendricks. Yeah, a couple guys in the bottom there that are probably more undrafted guys, but I would really like Van Jefferson for them a lot. That would make a ton of sense. Another Texans one, Bond, so that's another pass rush route you can go. A guy that can contribute and kind of drop back coverage if you need him to, if you want to start blitzing your inside linebackers. So that would make sense in that scheme if they wanted to go that route. Terrell Burgess, who I like at strong safety and slot, he would probably play strong if the Texans draft him. Fotu, that's a good pick there because he can replace DJ Reader. It's a possible DJ Reader replacement there, nose tackle. Quintez Cephas there, so they grabbed the receiver to add to the group. They got Cooks. They did lose Hopkins. James Robinson, probably an undrafted guy, has a lot of wear to him. Well, not yet, but you think it will be early because he's had an insane amount of carries the last couple of years. Jared Pinkney at the tight end, and John Reed, a slot corner there for the Texans. That's a pretty good draft right there. Now we see a Steelers one. You see the Instagram he linked me with, the top left, Jonathan Taylor. Steelers fans feeling that Jonathan Taylor pick. I think it'd be a good pair. I'm more of a third round for Taylor. The talent says earlier in that, but given he's a running back, he has an insane amount of career carries. Given that the fumbling situation, I'm comfortable more in the third round. But second round for the Steelers, I would really like the pairing with James Conner. They complement each other really well. Help each other out there. Steelers, Jordan Elliott with 102. Probably gone, but possibly could be there, I'd say. And be more of a 3-4 end for them. Kinley there, Duvernay, the slot receiver. Be a really good receiver unit if they added him. And Lamar Jackson for corner. Yeah, I do think that corner could be a sneaky need for them. Hayden's not going to be around forever. And, a couple guys, Nelson had a surprisingly good year. You can't expect it every year there. So they could need a corner more than people realize. So it's a pretty good mock right there. Couple Bills ones here. Dugert with the 54th pick, and they could use him. And, I'm assuming here they use him at linebacker, use him at outside linebacker because they're pretty set on safety, and that's a possibility. We hear teams wanting that. Moss would be a pretty good duo with Singletary, would like that, makes sense. Willicks would be, part of the rotation for the edge rush group. Cameron Clark, pretty good tackle depth. And Gandy Golden makes sense because they do need a big body receiver, in my opinion. It doesn't need to be early, but just like this. And then Braden Mann, punter, down here at 207, and Stanford Samuels. I could see a scenario with them going corner a little earlier, like the next one, but not a whole bunch of picks, so it's possible Samuel's a pretty good pick at 239. Javon Diggs at 54 would be excellent. I don't think he's there. That would be fantastic. Claypool at 86 would be great. That would make an insane receiver unit. Anthony McFarland to pair with Devin Singletary. Yeah, that's the thing. People think they need a certain type of back to pair with Singletary, but I really don't think so. Like, you can go the Moss route, or you can go the McFarland. They're two totally different type of backs. I think it works. C.J. O'Grady, he's pretty much a beast after he catches the ball. A lot of upside there. Didn't play a whole bunch because of off-the-field issues. We'll see if teams worry about that. Travis Gibson for pass rush help. Kinley. Benito Jones probably gone by then. Nose tackle, today's type of nose tackle, so teams probably be trying to get him earlier. But two good mocks there from the Bills fans. And then to top it off, two mocks that I had to make myself because nobody submitted them for these teams. Bears, it's kind of like really best case scenario, but I think realistic. Damon Arnett, I think they need a starting corner to pair with Kyle Fuller, Damon Arnett. One of those 9 corners is at the drop, at least one, because there's 9 of them. We know Okudah, Henderson, and the 7 next. One of those guys is going to be here around here. Who's it going to be? Arnett would be fantastic. Hunter Bryant, Cole Kmet, Hunter Bryant, Cole Kmet. I'm back and forth for the Bears. It's got to be one of the two. I'm not. If they take one in round 2 and it's not one of the two, I'm not going to be happy with them. I would like Bryson Hopkins for them, and I think they like Bryson Hopkins, but more of a round 3-4 guy. They don't have that pick. Can pace move around. He's done it before. But Bryant is more. Bryant makes sense. Kmet's my number 1. But Bryant makes sense because he kind of has a little bit of Trey Burton in him, who they just cut, but he can go in line and block as well. So I think this is kind of the guy that they targeting. So, but Cole Kmet I would like as well. Kevin Dotson could potentially start early on his career from the guard spot. Surprisingly, even though he's from Louisiana, he's a pretty good one. So they can use his help. Then Brooks can kind of play. This is where the not having these picks kind of hurts them because they do need a starting safety badly next to Jackson, but they need a starting corner. They need a starting tight end, I think, and possibly guard. So you have to wait for something, and that's where it kind of hurts you because Brooks is, I feel like, a good pairing with Jackson, but some think he may be a linebacker, but there's a shortage in this part, so you pretty much have no choice. So that's where that kind of hurts the Bears here. Heck, could be a future starter at tackle, but they need depth at this point. Courtney Davis, Can play slot in outside from Texas A&M there. Could use another receiver after getting rid of Gabriel. And then going for the kicker, going Rodrigo Blankenship from Georgia. Because you still don't know with Pinheiro. Impressed at times. You still really don't know. And then moving on to the Rams 7-round mock that I had to make, Robert Hunt, which you may have to move a tiny bit, I think he's a plug-and-play starting right guard. Then Darrell Taylor's getting a lot of second-round buzz right now. Guy's got a lot of upside. He fits a 3-4 perfectly. Replace Dante Fowler with Darrell Taylor makes a lot of sense. And Sadiq Charles sounds like he could drop a little bit. Grab him in the third. He can play guard right now for you or tackle if you need him in the near future. Another pass rusher. Let's load it up. Aaron Donald's got all this pressure from the D-line. You finally had Dante Fowler helping you out. You lost him, but we've got to load up some pressure from the outside here. So now you grab Alton Robinson. Darrell Taylor and Alton Robinson. Pretty good duo looking there. Then Lecky Fotu. I think they'll be in the market for a true nose tackle there in L.A. And then David Woodward, the only flaw here is they could, kind of like the Bears, they had to wait so long to take a safety because there's just so many limited picks. So same thing here. You would like to take one earlier, but then you're going to have to drop a need down. So that's why it's kind of tough. So Woodward from Utah State there around 6. And then Joe Reed, kind of do-it-all receiver from Virginia to replace Cooks. But they'll have some guys step up within the team as well. They go that route there. This draft would make a lot of sense to me. Well, I made it, so hopefully I would think it would make a lot of sense. But it would make a ton of sense there. I like the fits here, and I could see them being interested in these teams. So that's going to do it for part 2 of the mock draft madness. Thank you for playing along here. Appreciate everyone. I really apologize if I missed somebody's. Some of them didn't work out, whether it was a link or something, a screenshot that it wouldn't let me save. I had to download it, and it wouldn't download. There's a lot of problems there. It was pretty chaotic situation going on with my Twitter and email. I was not expecting this many people to participate. That's going to do it for this one, though. Thanks, everyone, for watching. Stay tuned for more content in the live stream. Goodbye.